The next part we want to discuss is inventory management. Now, inventory is in our control. We have a fixed number of rooms to sell, which we cannot increase or we cannot decrease. We can decrease by closing the rooms, but usually we don't want to do that because we have already spent the money, we have already hired the staff, there is a fixed cost. If we are able to sell, we are able to recover our fixed cost. So inventory management means the maximum number of rooms that can be sold at particular point of time. Now you may have overbooking, you may have out of order situations, out of service situations. So managers, revenue managers, as a revenue manager, you need to keep an eye on the inventory which is available for sale. You may not want to have any room which is out of order for a very long period of time, so that you can manage the booking situations. The more very important aspect in managing the inventory is also the overbookings and the contracting. So how we make sure that we have enough inventory to be sold on each channels. So there is a term, so we normally don't want to take overbookings because we may not have enough room to sell, but usually there is always a cancellation. So revenue managers need to understand what are the cancellations for each type of room, each customer segment, and by each month, so that we know, or by each day, so that they can know how much extra bookings they can safely take. If we take overbookings for one particular room category and other room category is still open higher, which is normally higher, you can always upgrade the peoples, but there is a cost to it. Means you are losing an opportunity to sell the another room. Also, if we are not able to find any room, or the no room is available in the market, you may have to walk away the guest. There are normally potential risk on financial and also the brand image of the customers, and you may want to walk away only the customer which are not going to affect your future demand. For example, one time tour guest or one time travel agent guest, but you are taking the risk on the relationship with those particular travel agents. If you move your long staying guest, or you move your people who have been your loyal to you, then you will lose them for future. So there are many considerations which a hotel, not only the revenue manager, also the hotel manager, the GM of the property need to take before we make a decision on walk away. The other concept is contracting and allocations. So what is contracting and allocations? Normally, when we are selling to the travel agents, we are usually selling our rooms on a particular contract. We allocate them that, okay, we will make sure that you have 2 rooms available to sell on an everyday basis. So that is called allocation. The allocation is very important because travel agent can go ahead and sell up to 2 rooms every single day without coming back to the property and asking, do you have rooms available? If the agent has not been able to sell and we keep the inventory available block for them, that means we are not able to sell it to the others. So that is the risk in allocations. Nowadays, usually the properties have fluid allocation, so they don't really give a free sale. So usually the there are systems are connected, so the travel agents can always check the property is available to sell or not. But there are still properties which are not online connected, so you may need to have a robust allocation system, need to review the allocation systems all the time, so that you are giving allocation only to the producing agents. There is no point of giving 5 rooms allocated to an agent who is able to produce only 1 room night a day. Or you may want to increase the allocation of a travel agent who is able to produce maybe 5 rooms a day, but you are giving him only 2 rooms. Allocations work not only for offline, also works for online travel agents like Booking.com, Expedia, Agoda. They also need allocations, so that you can control what kind of inventory is being sold on one particular channel. Allocations are not only used for letting the travel agents sell, also controlled by reservation managers or revenue managers to make sure how much room inventory we want to sell on particular channel, because as we discussed earlier, each channel has different profitability. You may not want to sell 100% of your rooms to travel agents. You may want to sell some rooms to the online travel agents, some room direct bookings, some direct walk-in, some you want to keep for your loyalty guests, some you want to keep for corporate guests. So you have to manage a mix depending on the demand for that from that particular segment which you want to keep and accommodate for that particular day. So it's not a one-time job, it's not an easy job. You need a data, you need history, you need to estimate the demand for each particular segment and also for each particular day of the month, so that you can make sure you have enough rooms to sell to the highest paying customer or highest deserving customers. Normally, the another aspect of inventory management is length of stay. Usually you may have spikes, you may have one day which is full and the other days which are not so full. So if you continue to sell only one day for that particular occupancy where you are already 96%, 95%, the other days which are previous day and the post day, you cannot sell, because if somebody want to stay for 2 nights on the previous day, the rooms are not available anymore. So you may want to put length of stay for that particular day when you have a spike, so that you can maximize the revenue on the previous day as well and also or the next day. So you may want to put either 2 days minimum length of stay if you want to cover on that particular day, or 3 days stay so that you can cover pre and post. You may depending on the length of the occupancy, you may want to impose 3 days or 4 days. Usually there are sometimes long holidays, right? You can have Saturday, Sunday, Monday is all business which are long weekend. So you may want to impose a 3 days minimum length of stay. You don't want people to come only on Saturday, stay only on Saturday, and you lose the business. Somebody who may want to stay on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, no guest will do Friday stay in this hotel, Saturday another hotel, Sunday stay in another hotel, right? Or come back to the same hotel. So you may want to keep rooms, or you may want to impose the length of stay so that you can maximize your revenue on other days as well. Usually it may happen that you may accept 100% occupancy on one particular day, but you are forgetting that there are previous day and the next day to sell as well. If somebody come for a previous day for 2 nights, they cannot stay because you don't have the room available for that particular day. Or if somebody want to come on future day but want to stay on the previous night as well, or want to stay for 2 nights covering the 100% occupancy day, then you lose the money both days, not only one day. So you may not want to have one dayers when you know that you're gonna be reaching 100% occupancy. You can do it both ways. Either you can control it manually. You can say, okay, who are the when we am expecting to be 100%, I should not accept one day stays. I should accept only 2 days, 3 days stay. Or you can impose a multiple days. Okay, if you stay 2 nights, then only your reservation is accepted. Otherwise, the rate on when that particular day is very high. So that basically you are distracting the customer or staying the customers don't stay for this particular day if they want to stay only one day. So that is also called length of stay controls. Then you have management of channel managers. So again, as we discussed earlier, inventory being sold on different channels: online, offline, corporate, loyalty programs, direct inquiries, walk-ins. If you know you will have a lot of walk-ins, maybe 2-3 average walk-ins every day, you want to keep the rooms available for sale. If you don't, then you are losing the money. If you sell 100% of the occupancy, those walk-in customers will have to go somewhere else, and we know walk-in customers normally pay the highest price because they are in need and we can charge them the full rate, while for travel agent or corporate we have to give them a discount. So that is the difference. Then walk away the guest. Should we walk away the guest? What guest should we walk away? That is again a very important consideration that we discuss. If you have an overbooking situation, you may want to walk away the guests only which are going to make the least impact on the property. Every guest will make a least impact. Every guest will make an impact financially or brand value or on the review reputation wise. But you want to minimize the impact so that you don't have to suffer a lot of reputational damage or a lot of future business. Financially, probably you may have to pay the walk away, the room rate, the room price for the another hotel plus maybe a free room night in the future. So that normally is the cost of land, walk away. Another consideration in walking away is you don't want to walk away a guest who is going to stay for 3 nights or 4 nights, right? Because that is going to give you the business for more other days when the peoples are not saying. Loyalty guest, you don't want to walk away at any cost, because if you walk away a loyalty customer, you will lose their loyalty. And where to walk, you don't want to walk to your direct competitor, right? You want to walk away to the person who is either lower category, if you are able to convince the guest, or a higher category hotel which is not their usual client. Because if you move to the direct competitor, the customer may get used to it, the customer may get loyalty points, you may lose the customer in the future. So you want to